Hi guys, I'm back again today with another reaction video, and today we're reacting to Star-Spangled Banner as you've never heard it. Ooh, I don't know if this is like the history of the national anthem. Ooh, okay, there we go. I don't know if because my sweater is too bright, my camera is like confused. But anyways, yeah. I'm not too sure what this is gonna be about, but anyways, before we do start, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell button to get notified whenever I do upload a video. Anyways guys, so let's check this out. I'm super intrigued. As you've never heard it. Is this a different way?
There was a lawyer once. His name was Francis Scott Key. He penned a song that I'm sure you're aware of. You've seen it. It's in most hymnals throughout our churches. It's called the national anthem. It is our song as an American. We go, however, to a ball game. We stand in our church services and we sing the words of that song, and they float over our minds and our lips, and we don't even realize what we're singing. Most of us have memorized it as a child, but we've never really thought about what it means. Let me tell you a story. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer in Baltimore. The colonies were engaged in vicious conflict with the mother country, Britain. Because of this conflict and the protractedness of it, they had accumulated prisoners on both sides. The American colonies had prisoners and the British had prisoners. And the American government initiated a move. They went to the British and they said, let us negotiate for the release of these prisoners. They said, we want to send a man out to discuss this with you. They were holding the American prisoners in boats about 1,000 yards offshore. And they said, we want to send a man by the name of Francis Scott Key. He will come out and negotiate to see if we can make a mutual exchange. On the appointed day in a rowboat, he went out to this boat and he negotiated with the British.
I really love how we're getting a history lesson, because I don't know if I have, and it just slipped to my mind, or I wasn't paying attention in class, but I don't think I've ever heard how the national anthem was composed or who even composed it. But now here we are learning so much more than we did in school. So do you need to go to school? Yes, you still do, right?
British officials, and they reached a conclusion that men could be exchanged on a one-for-one basis.
Okay.
Francis Scott Key, jubilant with the fact that he'd been successful, went down below in the boats, and what he found was a cargo hold full of humanity. Men.
No.
And he said, men, I've got news for you tonight. You're free. He said, tonight I have negotiated successfully your return to the colonies. He said, you'll be taken out of this boat, out of this filth, out of your chains. As he went back up on board to arrange for their passage to the shore, the admiral came and he said, we have a slight problem. He said, we will still honor our commitment to release these men, but it'll be merely academic after tonight. It won't matter. And Francis Scott Key said, what do you mean? He said, well, Mr. Key, he said, tonight we have laid an ultimatum upon the colonies. Your people will either capitulate and lay down the colors of that flag that you think so much of, or you see that fort right over there, Fort Henry? He said, we're going to remove it from the face of the earth. He said, how are you going to do that? He said, if you will, scan the horizon of the sea. And as he looked, he could see hundreds of little dots. And he said, that's the entire British war fleet.
Oh, we're also getting flag history.
He said, all of the gunpowder, all of the armament is being called upon to demolish that fort. It will be here within striking distance in a matter of about 2.5 hours. He said, the war is over. These men would be free anyway. He said, you can't shell that fort. He said, that's a large fort. He said, it's full of women and children. He says, it's predominantly not a military fort. He said, don't worry about it. They said, we've left them a way out. He said, what's that? He said, do you see that flag way up on the rampart? He said, we have told them that if they will lower that flag, the shelling will stop immediately. And we'll know that they've surrendered, and now be under British rule. Francis Scott Key went down below and told the men what was about to happen. And they said, how many ships? He said, hundreds. The ships got closer. Francis Scott Key went back up on top and he said, men, I'll shout down to you what's going on as we watch.
This is very interesting.
As twilight began to fall, and as the haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset, suddenly the British war fleet unleashed. He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no reliefs.
This guy
He
is
said
good
it
at
was absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit.
Because I'm like invested emotionally, mentally, and like I'm really captivated by the way he's, you know, drawing us into this beautiful history. He's making us relive it as he speaks. That's how he sounds like to me.
It was absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit. And he says from down below, all he could hear the men, the prisoners, saying was, tell us where the flag is. What have they done with the flag? Is the flag still flying over the rampart? Tell us. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into the shelling. Every time the bomb would explode and it would be close to the flag, they could see the flag in the illuminated red glare of that bomb, and Francis Scott Key would report down to the men below, it's still up. It's not down.
So they're trying to
The Admiral came and he said, your people are insane. He said, what's the matter with them?
make them lower.
He said, don't they understand this is an impossible situation? Francis Scott Key said he remembered what George Washington had said. He said the thing that sets the American Christian apart from all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees. The Admiral said, we have now instructed all of the guns to focus on the rampart to take that flag down. He said, we don't understand something. Our reconnaissance tells us that that flag has been hit directly again and again and again, and yet it's still flying. We don't understand that. But he said, now we're about to bring every gun for the next 3 hours to bear on that point. Francis Scott Key said the barrage was unmerciful. All that he could hear was the men down below praying. The prayer. God, keep that flag flying where we last saw it. Sunrise came.
Damn, they're still shooting at
Said there
it?
was a heavy mist hanging over the land, but the rampart was tall enough. There stood the flag, completely nondescript, in shreds.
Wow.
The flagpole itself was at a crazy angle, but the flag was still at the top.
That
Francis
is some
Scott Key
flag,
went aboard and immediately went into Fort Henry to see what had happened. And what he found had happened was that that flagpole and that flag had suffered repetitious direct hits. And when hit had fallen, but men, fathers, who knew what it meant for that flag to be on the ground, although knowing that all of the British guns were trained on it, walked over and held it up humanly until they died. Their bodies were removed and others took their place. Francis Scott Key said what held that flagpole in place at that unusual angle were patriots' bodies. He penned a song. Oh, say, can you see?
Oh my gosh, it makes sense. Now that you, like, he's gonna recite the national anthem, makes sense. I'm even in tears. This is beautiful.
Penned the song. Oh, say, can you see by the
Can
dawn's what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. Or the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
This is so poetic.
Through the night, that the flag was still there.
Oh. Why am I so...
Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet...
Even me, as a person who is not from the US of A, I've never really thought about this. And every time that I hear it being sung, I'm just like, oh, okay. Oh, okay, you see? But now that he's reciting in this poetic manner, and also we know the history behind it, it touches here more. Whoa, this is beautiful.
Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet fly and wave? Or the land of the free and the home of the brave? The debt was demanded. The price, it was paid. Oh, say, can you see?
This is so beautiful.
So proudly we hail.
Why am I crying over my country? I think all Americans should watch this and make them realize that they should treat their country and people better, you know? Like, if they know the history behind it, they would definitely be... I mean, you guys are already, like, very patriotic and very proud, but when there is, like... I don't even know how to explain how I feel right now. It's so beautiful. But not an aggressive, you know, kind of patriotic. It should be a very warm, kind-hearted patriotism that we should fight for. And this is it. Look at that. Beautiful. Did I just say we should fight for? What do I say? I think I'm just... Oh, it makes more sense now. They should let this guy sing it all the time for every game. We don't need no Mariah's or Shakira's. No, just let him sing it. Whoever dares to sing the American national anthem for any occasion, they need to watch this video. They need to know the history. They need to know what they're singing. Not just because we are gonna go to a game and we are representing our country. No, we have to like get the emotion out of that singer so that there's that pizzazz in the way that they sing it. You know? Do I make sense? Probably not.
Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Tell him. Question mark. Should be exclamation. Oh, I want more. we go. That was just perfect, really. Never thought, never in my wildest dream would I have ever thought that I would be so emotional about a national anthem. Because we don't really look deep into the meaning of it. We just sing it because, oh, it's a Monday morning. We have to sing the national anthem, right? In school. So, this is so beautiful. I think I'm gonna watch that again. But obviously, not with you guys. By my own, I'm gonna be like... in the corner somewhere in the room. But anyways, guys, that was really beautiful, really beautiful, very eye-opening, educational, and emotional. But let me know, guys, what you thought about that. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, leave in the comment section down below what other videos like to react to. The original link of this video will be in the description box down below, so it's my social media link. So guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.